Rarely this late in the season does the schedule allow us to get a matchup where we see the top two teams in each division go at it. In this case, we have the 6-2 Rain of Fire, tops of the Dr. Pepper division, doing battle with the 4-3-1 Ivory Tower Power, top of the Nachos division. The only other meeting between these two teams was in Week 12 of last year when Power's first owner, known at the time as 76 Bucks No Thanks, laid into Fire 103-50 and ultimately knocking them out of the playoff race. So now it's a new year with a new owner. Will Fire take it easy on Power, or will they bring the Hellfire and Brimstone to them? Early on, everyone could see that this game was going to be a tight one. Leading the early scores for Fire was Ryan Grant with about 15 points. Power would counter with a 17-pointer from the always-on-target Tom Brady. With the 1 o'clock games over, we were at a 33-38 score in favor of Power. With the 4 o'clock game starting, we could see the big guns for both teams coming out. Fire first launched their arsenal of Chris Johnson, who would have a grand performance and garnered 27 points in his efforts against the 49ers. Also adding the Cardinals defense, who bounced back this week for 8 points. But not to be undone, Frank Gore would be just as persistent and get 21 points in the same contest, along with the 14 points for the Saints defense against the Panthers, and we have a 60-75 contest, with Power still in the lead, albeit a very small one. The only thing going for Fire this week was that in the final game they would have 2 players compared to the Power's just 1. So the odds makers would say that Fire had a very high probability of pulling this one out. But there is a reason why not everyone wins at the casino. Sometimes those same odds makers are dead wrong. As an aside, owners are second guessed every week when it comes to matchup stats and what the pundits are barking. So there is a glaring mistake. So when there's a glaring mistake, it hurts. But even more when it's a close game. After his putrid performance last week against the Titans, Fire felt they needed to bench Kurt Warner in favor of fantasy darling Donovan McNabb. This week, Warner would light up the Bears for 30 points, so that meant McNabb would have to repeat his performance he had against the Giants this week. So the question would he be able to pull it off in Sunday Night Football? Besides McNabb, the other 2 participants in the game would be Brent Selleck for the Fire and Miles Austin for Power. It wasn't until the third quarter when the fireworks would start to go off. In a storybook way, McNabb would find Selleck in the end zone for a touchdown, and with a 77-75 slim lead. Fire even joked right after that play, saying, and I quote, "Can this game be over right now? Cowboys forfeit the rest of the game?" Well, good news for them was that Austin would only have 1 catch in the game. The bad news was it was a 49-yard touchdown catch, which would give Powers 10 points and ultimately the win 78-85. Looking back, that glaring 30 points by Warner is really the footnote of the game, because had they started him, it would have been a Fire victory 98-85. So with the loss, Fire drops to 6-3. However, the Penguins are also lost, so both teams are still tied for first place. As for Power, the win also does nothing for them as Destroyer won their matchup as well. Heading into Week 10, it will be a big test for Fire as they will go up against the Red Hot Go for Broke, who have won 4 games in a row and looking to crack the 500 mark for the first time this year. Power will play against division rival Service Plans, who will look to bounce back from their lackluster showing in Week 9.